looking around again out here if there's something like that going on.
I know, man. Cannon Road 2. I thought I had told you about that. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about
You
that
might
earlier.
have, but I didn't realize what you were saying.
But I ignored you. I should have paid attention.
I'm used to it. It's all good.
You should drew me a picture and send it to me.
Found something paranormal. Looks like this.
I found one of those in my house.
Welcome to the Mystic Podcast channel. I'm Michelle, and I'm here with
Tommy Nine Toes.
JC, formerly Queen of England. Hello!
That was our attempt at being a legitimate podcast channel. Thank you for coming.
Go Chiefs!
Let them eat tea and crumpets.
No, today we're going to talk about UFOs. They are in the news. They are in the, TikTok, every social media platform.
They've been around forever, and it's just finally the government's starting to pay attention to it. So I guess that legitimizes it. So now media starts to pay attention.
I'm pretty sure they've been paying attention to it for a long time. They just wouldn't.
Well, they're just not acknowledging it.
They just finally was like, yeah, we've seen them.
Yes, there's a flying saucer.
Fine, you got us. We saw them too. God dang it.
Yeah.
Dang that Nimitz.
What do you think about that?
I think they're a bunch of crooks.
Ew. Government.
Yeah.
That is
Those
basic
guys.
knowledge.
It's them. They. The true they, them.
They, us.
Yeah. The government those are government pronouns. Make me leery of anybody that says that.
Do you think there's more now than there were?
What,
no.
I know we've been following UFOs forever, but it's like, okay, so do you think it's more prevalent though?
I think everybody's got cameras in their hand 24 hours a day. I think the internet lets you put video of anything you catch, and everybody can click and spend time on Twitter or TikTok or wherever. And I think it's all just more accessible because, if you think about it, like you probably met somebody that has seen something, probably more than one person, and but they didn't have a camera, didn't have video. They just had a story, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're full of crap."
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, I got a
video.
Yeah, got a picture, got a video.
My phone wouldn't even work that fast. It would be long gone before the camera even opened up.
I would be too busy going, what the heck? And I'd sit there and stare and realize, oh, I got a phone, I can take a picture.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So what do you think that, okay, so you don't think they're any worse than they were ever?
It might have ramped up just because of world events and, timeline stuff. But I don't know. Because it was so denied and doubted and not documented, it's really hard to say for sure.
I have a theory. I think we are switching now, and this is something I've looked into. We're leaving the age of Pisces, that's what we're in currently, and we're coming into the age of Aquarius. And there's like that gap, that overlap. And I think that overlap is when there's always a lot of turmoil, always a lot of craziness when they're switching from age to age. Well, and I think what is happening is we're going to see more of these aliens. We're going to have more situations. So,
okay. The thing is, they would always show up at, like, when earthquakes come around or volcanoes. When there's an event like that, they seem to be like above a volcano or something. That happens a lot. And I don't know if you guys have I don't know if we've even talked. We might have talked about it, and I just can't remember for sure. But the magnetic pole is moving. Like, they've come out and admitted recently that it's definitely moving.
Yeah.
And so that, I would think if they were aware of, like, volcano events and stuff like that, tectonic plates, I'm sure that they would be aware of the magnetic pole shifting, so which could bring them around, or they could be causing it. Who knows?
See, I don't know why that would be. The Earth has done this before.
Yeah, well, they're saying it's going to shift it to where basically who was? We're going to be in the southern hemisphere, like where it starts.
Oh
to get
yeah,
cold.
I was making videos on it back in 2015. There's
Yeah.
videos probably on this channel that you can go back and find.
Did you see the map? They had a
but that is a natural thing.
Yeah,
the Earth does that. Why would that bring the aliens?
I think that there's
just
somehow
because it's going to fuck up our life doesn't mean the aliens care.
Well, I think they're somehow in tune with it, so they either monitor it or attempt to control it.
Honestly, I'd say none of that makes sense, because why would they want to control something that naturally happens? You're basing it on the fact that it's going to affect us as humans, and that is the least anybody cares about.
I don't know. I mean, what we see as a natural event might be some technology that we don't have.
I got an idea. Essentially, I feel like a lot of these, aliens, and we see UFOs, could be they're observing us and how we handle certain things,
Or if you get a big anthill in your yard, you do something to it so there's less of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just saying, it could be a situation where we have something it's probably going to happen that they know is going to happen, but they ain't going to tell us. They want to see how we handle it.
Or is it a hitchhiker's guide, and they're selling tickets, and they're like, "Here, we're going to feed you a steak dinner while you watch this planet go through this."
It's not our fault you didn't see the notice. It was posted publicly.
No, remember when the restaurant at the end of the universe?
Yeah. But no, what I was saying, I bet you, because here's another thing. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. There's a volcano I don't know how many miles off the coast of Oregon.
I did see that. I read that last
the underwater
week.
One. Yeah.
That can be
is hot.
Hot, ready to blow up.
Yep. And I read that last week.
I mean, that's right there, the Ring of Fire, that Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
And the thing, and it's always active. I'd be surprised. I wonder if there's anything going to happen. Is it going to help?
The ground in Yellowstone is coming up, isn't it?
Did you see the earthquake that happened yesterday? What was it, Tennessee? And
it was one in Tennessee. There was one
4.1.
They had one in India or something, didn't they? And they didn't even stop bombing those poor people.
Well, I mean, I used to follow that as well and make videos on that, but they were that Ring of Fire is so active. It was like, okay, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it has picked up an activity though, but it's always active.
But I mean, I'm just saying, if that thing goes off, it's in Oregon. I don't know how far it is off the San Andreas fault line. If it would affect the fault line.
Oregon.
Yeah, it's quite a ways.
You've got the
If you got the sisters, you got Mount St. Helens, you've got Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta.
The name of it. Out in the water. What is that called? Cascade.
Cascade Mountain.
No. Off of that northern west coast, there's a fault line that runs out in the water off the shore. Is it the Cascadia? And it's not even a fault line. It's literally Cascadia. I see. I have no access to computer. My other monitor. Okay, I can't see you. I can't see you right now.
Oh no! Well, don't look.
Hang on.
I'm blocking you out. I'm blocking you out. I'm crushing your head.
Okay. Cascadia subduction zone.
Ooh, subduction zone.
And it's like, this is happening. And it actually was active not long ago, recent, but a little bit. But I wonder how that would affect that.
I mean, if something happens and it moves those plates enough, I'm sure it would set the magnetic pole off.
You never know.
That's a huge area. Well, the underground stuff goes from out in the ocean over to what, Yellowstone and further.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would be horrible.
As much as now, if we are worried about the magnetic field being gone, that's legit. But worrying about its location to me makes no sense.
Well, when it moves, it weakens real bad and it screws everything up.
For a minute, yeah, which we already see signs of. We get blackouts all the time. Freaking the airlines are freaking blacking out their technology.
Yeah, like there's a lot of that going on right now.
And what was it last week? Spain, there was quite a big area that went down.
This guy that's been looking at it, and he said, it starts to move real slow like that, and then things will start to happen, and then at some point it's just going to jump, and it's going to cause the Earth to shift, which is going to cause lots of tidal waves and stuff.
You're getting
90 degrees, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that you're getting into. I know I did videos on that, and I did it. My example was I had a cookie sheet with water in it, and I walked with it, and then I stopped.
Yeah.
And the water, of course, keeps going.
Yeah.
That, I don't think we need to worry about that happening.
Depends on where you live. Like Florida probably get washed out pretty good.
I just don't think we need to worry about. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, do I think that couldn't happen? It's just like physics and quantum physics. There's lots of theories and there's lots of things that can happen. What's the probability that that will happen? Now, the probability that the poles are going to shift, I'm pretty much 80-90% sure that that is happening. But I don't think it's going to cause.
It happens on a regular basis.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to cause our core. I mean, we're getting into the rotation of the Earth and it's stopping, and we're getting into the Earth wobble, and we're getting into lots of things. We would have to be hit by something. Am I saying that can't happen? No. But I don't know. And what are you going to do about it?
What are the UFOs going to
drink your bottled water that you?
Yes, I drink bottled water. I'll sit in the backyard and watch it all happen with a bottle of water.
It comes to a point where there's some stuff, man. Hope it don't happen, but what am I going to do about it?
Nothing. Just wait for it.
Yeah, I'm not even going to wait for it.
It's like, oh, the nuclear bombs are coming. Okay, I guess I'll put out a lawn chair.
Okay. I mean, what are you going to do? So anyway, we're off. Let me show a video. I know he didn't text back yet, but let's get back on topic.
Yeah. That I like that stuff too, though. But yeah,
actually, that's actually kind of on topic. It's not completely off topic. There, it's
not
sort
completely.
Of off to the side, little sidebar.
We have video here from a friend of Tommy's. I think it is. Is it a friend of yours too, JC? I don't know him.
I don't know. I don't know those guys like him.
He went to Baser. He went
okay, so he went with us to school. He was younger than me then, probably.
Yeah, he's younger than all of us.
Yeah. Oh, was he? Okay. And I'm gonna credit him here, but I'm gonna add this to the screen real quick. This is video he took. Wasn't it? This is just last week.
Yeah. Now, see, this is what I was thinking when I looked at this. I was like, oh, he's circled whatever he's seeing on a picture, and we're gonna zoom in on it. But no. That is not the case. This is one of the most interesting, unique videos, I think, of this sort of thing that I've seen.
Okay, so here we go. It's a minute and 39 seconds. So, I was pressing play on the wrong screen. Okay, here we go.
So, can somebody tell me what is this? And I'm not using no app. I am on County Road 2 in between State Avenue and K32. And I have never seen anything like that in my life. And it appears that little black stuff is falling down the center of it. That is just weird. And then just to let you all know, I'm not kidding here. This is real. Sorry, that's my phone doing that because it's a piece of crap Motorola. But just so you can see, it's me, and I'm live, and I'm starting to dissipate. Look at that. Tell me that is not freaking weird. I have no idea. I've been recording it. It was a dark black circle, and now it's dissipating. I mean, it looks like somebody blew a big old smoke ring. Yeah, so I thought it looked like everything was falling through the center, but now it's just like totally dissipating. But
Yeah, look on that right side. Like that little pup is getting really big.
Pretty crazy, huh?
I tell you, he found something. That's
Well,
weird.
it can't be a smoke ring because that looks like it's at least 3 football fields in the air. So a smoke ring wouldn't last that long. Smoke rings are usually gray anyway, not black.
Or even white.
Yeah.
But
And
still,
it was so thin. It was so thin.
Yeah.
I don't know. And for anything to just fly a perfect circle like that, it's not a manned aircraft. It can't be. Because it's way too small of a circle. And it was like the ends of it met up like perfectly.
Now, here's something when Tom sent me this earlier this week. And I came back with, could we be seeing a portal that closed?
I mean, could be. I just thought another thing it could be is if something dropped, like almost like a depth charge, like it just dropped something and it flew up in the air and made a ring of powder.
Like a firework would, but
kind of, but it just left like a ring of like carbon toner or something. It's something that black. That's really dark and solid. So
black.
Yeah, at first that was really black. And the only other thing I can think of, because I know a lot of blackbirds, like will fly in like a group of them. I mean, I've seen them over when I worked at
like that
campus. Well, a crap ton of them one time was just flying around. And they would go in different formations. They would.
That would be thousands and thousands and thousands of blackbirds.
I'm just saying,
because they'd have to be up so high you couldn't see the individuals. So that would be so many blackbirds that I couldn't imagine that many of them.
It's just, I'm like I said, I'm just throwing out there what it. The
only thing I could think of is if it was somebody here, it would have to have been something on a drone. But I can't think of anything that they could carry that would make a ring that big and that dark without it being too heavy for the drone.
It looks like it's multiple things. It disperses. It could be a portal. Who knows? I mean, I don't know how portals would work, but something like that, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, it would be different than any of the other stuff that looks like portals people have posted, because they always are like kind of more of a glow or something. That's like whatever that is.
But we did. I mean,
yeah, we don't know what a portal is anymore.
And there could be so many different types.
Yeah, and I mean, if there's one dimension making portals here, there could be more than one dimension, which would have different technology to do it. So,
I don't know, but it sure does make you ponder, doesn't it?
I really don't know what that, because anything that was launched off the ground, I mean, maybe you could launch something in the ground off the ground that blew up in the air, but
why would it be so dark black like that?
It wouldn't. It wouldn't.
I know.
I can't think of anything that you could do that would explode and leave a ring that thin and dark and that big.
Yeah, it seems like it's very precise,
Very.
So it's just like, that's one for the record books, I think.
But here's the thing. People are posting stuff like that all over. All over. You can get on TikTok and just see all kinds of stuff. Equally as baffling.
I don't know.
What are you to think?
I don't know what to make of that. That's so different than anything else.
Here's what Bashar said just recently. I want to say last week or so, I heard him say this. You're going to see more and more video. More and more people are going to be seeing things. They're going to be recording it. When you're going to start seeing more of it.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. There's been a lot of predictions like that.
Well, and this goes back to like the pole shift, the imminent, imminent volcanoes exploding. Maybe even Yellowstone probably, going up in flames. I hope not. That hopefully that happens after I'm dead and gone. But it happens in our lifetime. But the thing is, and like I say, it could be an uptick of UFO activity because they're trying to see. They say, here's a pending calamity. We knew what it was back at back in the past, but now their technology level is a lot better. How are they going to handle it after that? After this calamity hits? That's what I think.
They know that
handle it the same way we always do. We're blowed up.
the reset is coming. The reset is coming, and we have the ability to save ourselves.
Well, I'm sure.
Will we do it? Or will we follow the same thing over and over again and amnesia and we start over?
Right.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying about the magnetic thing is if it does do tidal waves and like the solar flares come in while the magnetic field is weakened, wipe out all the electronics. I mean, everything's on the internet now. So if they wiped out electronics and they were all no good, it would only be 2 generations and we would have forgotten 90%.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what we don't hear much about anymore is abductions and like cattle mutilations and things of that nature.
They still come up, but they're not the ones that everybody are looking at. Like if you search for them, I'm sure you could find recent ones.
Well, they've probed enough of us to know what's going on, so they don't really need to do that anymore. So now we're just kind of sitting back and waiting to see what happens. They could be on a wait and see,
Let's ask the
and I feel like the cattle mutilations are just more of a thing. Like why I always talk about the watchers. Like that's like they pick up cattle, test it, see what's like they probably test toxins and things in its chemistry and
and here's the thing,
evolution.
Because I kind of knew this, and I just wanted to make sure that I was remembering correctly. Everything, I dare you to find anything recent.
I will.
Yeah. Because I can't find it. Everything's old. It's like, okay, that happened 5 years ago. What happened now?
It could be this media just not paying. It's not media worthy,
Well, you don't go to the media for that. You go to the
I know, but still.
Media, yeah. You'd have to go to like let's see, NDTV, Unsolved Mysteries is a really good website to go to for that kind of news. I mean, you can't go. ABC's not going to do it.
ABC, Ted Koppel, Captain Comeover, he posted about the Phoenix Lights. You know,
he had to. Too many people saw those. He had to. He had to. Some stuff they have to, and that keeps them in the loop and believable.
Right.
That's it. I can't find anything right now, and it's really irritating. I just tried to look, and all it will show me is like YouTube videos of movie trailers and wanting to go to movie sites. And it's
see, I'm not looking on YouTube. I'm looking for.
Well, I went to Google, and it was like just bringing up links for like movies and media, and it's like that's not what I'm searching for.
What about Skinwalker Ranch? I mean, they had
Skinwalker Ranch. As much as I would like to believe Skinwalker Ranch, it's still a video production for entertainment on an entertainment channel. So I always look at it like I don't know.
Grain of salt.
I mean, it's interesting, and they've got video of some things it looks like they actually found, but they also got a huge budget.
Discovery is not above embellishing, and I know that from a personal experience.
And Grant and Jason.
I have I'm familiar with people in MUFON here in Kansas City. They were being interviewed about a UFO. What do they call it? A
UAP?
No. We go through periods where we have a lot flap. They call it a flap. There was a UFO flap. There was
like the DC flap or the LA flap.
And I can't remember the guy's name, but you see him a lot, and it's probably a good thing. That way I don't say his name. See him in a lot of the Discovery shows. Was interviewing her.
You talking about that old guy with the glasses?
No, I'm not even going to go. But she was being interviewed, and she's lots of weird shit happened. She had some great stuff to give him, had great stories. And when it filmed, it was like, where were you at? He didn't include hardly anything she said. It was
If it's
just
the guy I'm thinking of,
all
he seems to be more like a government worker than like
extorted to whatever they.
that guy always comes across to me like a government worker.
Was always extorted. It was contorted to whatever direction they were going.
And really, I mean, if it was the government,
So I don't. Yeah.
the best way for the government to get a lot of information would be to put up a website asking for people to tell their stories, and then go and interview people. And I mean, that's just like a free Project Blue Book.
Yeah, I have my own opinions on that. Turning in your signings to the government. I don't know. I just feel like it is a pacifier.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are on your side. Oh my gosh, you had this experience. Put your name on this website.
Yeah.
Really? Where's my 0 point energy? I'm tired of paying a power bill. Where's my 0 point energy?
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about any of it.
Yeah, we'll never see it. Not in our lifetime.
Well, I think that's part of it. I think that's part of the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Well, I mean, you could do something like take those Tesla turbines and put them in the Mississippi River, and they would just spin constantly.
So many things.
Yeah, there's so many ways they could generate a lot of power.
Money and oil, carbon energies, all of these things. Money, money, money. It all comes down to money. And every time you read anything about, if you're one of those people that studies alien life and the different life forms and cultures and things like that, whether this is information that's true or not, I personally couldn't tell you. But I can tell you that all of them say, money? We don't need no stinking money. Seriously. All of them say it. Oh, we're past that. We don't do that. We have what we need. We create what we need.
But I don't know. I think that the UFOs, the aliens, even if they're reptilian, if they're Nordic, or if they're Greys, whoever they are, up there in the saucers and stuff, I feel like they're just observing. Now they're just observing. If a very big calamity happens on the planet, say Yellowstone erupts, which will be bad for us. We're in the path.
Well, it depends on how the wind's blowing at the time.
Well, winds always blow west to east.
Not always though.
Yeah, maybe we'll get lucky. It'll blow up into Canada, but seriously, normally.
No, I get wind from the east. I sure do all the time.
Right. Between like basically Tongi and Kansas City, it's always coming from the west.
Yeah. I mean, even out here, it's like when the storm rolls in, I can look out my window, like that direction, which is to the west, that I'm sitting at right now. Because right now I'm facing north. Of course, you can't tell I'm in the Denver. It's just like when I lived out in Baser, looking out the window that overlooked the Johnsons, driveway and stuff. I could look out there and see the sky.
I remember that.
The storms come.
Just the storms that were here 2 days ago were coming down from northeast and coming across.
Those are the bad storms. Those are like the tornado storms.
Yeah. Yeah, if they come from another direction, they're almost always carrying tornadoes.
It doesn't always do that. And I'm like you, as a kid, I don't remember it ever doing that. And we've been here over 20 years, and I remember thinking to myself when I noticed it, when did storms start traveling east to west?
They've
Not
always
very
done
often. It is not very often.
Did I
They'd be
just not notice it as a kid?
That's against the grain there, because if they're coming east or
I mean,
west,
it does happen, but it's not. I don't remember it happening very often.
right? And usually, if it does, it's very severe because that's not.
Yeah.
It was very severe.
Yeah, because
It wasn't for us necessarily, but it was for people south of us.
I remember playing Little League baseball up there in Baser, up there at the concession stand field there, by the elementary. And I remember being out there. It would have been right field, and I remember looking out over by where Clams Pond was and stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I saw this storm and lightning everywhere, and it was coming towards us. And man, it was up on us fast, and that would have been from the north.
That would have been northwest.
Been northwest and east, and it was like there was a lot of lightning. And when that thing got to the field, the game was called because there was so much rain. There was no way to play it. Yeah. Everyone just went home.
It makes me think, because I personally know the poles have been shifting since 2015 because I was making videos about it. That was 10 years ago. It was actually taking place before that. Could that be why we're now seeing storms coming from the east and going to the west?
I don't know. Things can get mixed up, especially if the poles are shifting.
You look at it, it's nothing but water or gas energy, and think of it swirling if things get unsettled.
Right? I mean, if that causes the magnetics to, kind of reverse themselves, I mean, it's hard to say.
Well, and we're talking, here's the thing about the magnets, all of our magnetic, the only thing the magnets do is create our magnetic shield.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all they do. And if that weakens, like JC was referring to earlier, which I don't remember if we were even recording then what that's going to do is let our very active sun right now, that is in a very active solar cycle, it's going to allow it to get to us.
It could be a perfect storm for a calamity to happen, if you think about it.
Oh, I think that's all that's saving us, if you ask me. They need technology to shut down. Everybody needs to be placed in the same spot. Nobody's got nothing.
Well, I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is it could be a perfect storm, a natural perfect storm where the poles are shifting, because it's done it before. I mean, there's scientific evidence, because like
absolutely.
But I'm just saying, it could be a situation, and sorry about that, but it could be a situation to where things are, the magnetic field's getting a little wonky, for lack of better terms, and we're starting, like the video with the circle in this, that sky. It could be a situation here where we're seeing weird stuff happening, and it's just
we're going to see phenomenon that we're not used to seeing.
I just can't wait to where when something happens and I get superpowers and I can fly and I can shoot beams out of my eyes.
You might be waiting a minute.
One day I go down, driving down the road, a portal opens up, these Halo Space Marines come out, big guns. It's like, okay, here we go. Don't have to go to work because the world's gone crazy.
I'm ready to not have to have an electric bill.
Or water bill.
It's like, come on. Tesla had it. They already have it. We know they already have it.
Yeah, they took that from us.
Just saying.
Just like they took the water-dependent carburetor from us.
Right.
And that's the thing. These things are proven. Why is it so ignored? Why is it, as a civilization, as a people, why do we ignore? I don't ignore it? Why do people ignore the fact that Tesla already had it? We've already had it. They took it from us.
Well, also, why isn't anybody else trying to recreate that?
You know, the guy from Skinwalker Ranch, the guy from Alabama, I can never remember his name. He's a scientist. And he
Yes,
also,
yes. I can't remember his name, but I
had
know
a show about Nikola Tesla that he was on History Channel. And it was like a weekly show. And they would talk about all the different things. And he had like 2 Tesla coils. And he was doing stuff around this pond, moving,
you can ground a coil into the dirt, and then you can go so far away and like put a light bulb in the dirt, and it'll light up.
right.
Yeah. I mean, he was using, stuff that he had studied and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. It could be a situation where maybe we're about to have a jump in technology,
If there is, I don't think it's going to be anything for the masses.
If that happens now, we're screwed.
Well, I'm just saying it could be a situation where we're starting to notice a lot of magnetic things, and magnetic poles are moving. What if they finally figured out how to make an engine that's going to work basically on the magnetic, off the magnetic, field?
Well, I was talking about that a couple weeks ago, wasn't I? Or last week or something, about having like a magnetic drive. Like my theory on UFO engines is that they operate off magnetics that work against the Earth's gravitational field.
It could be a situation where, we're about to make the technological jump to that next level.
Well, I'm going to throw something in the pond. I'm going to throw a spoke in the wheel.
Okay.
Did either of you get familiar with who Stephen Greer is?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Okay. He has said on many videos that the Greys are not actually alien, that they are biologically engineered entities owned and ran and maintained by our government. And these activities that the Greys are associated with, like abducting people and all that shit,
anal probe
was our government.
The issue I see with that is that there's been reportings of the Greys since before we had our government.
Unless they figured out time travel, and that's why they show up. And the thing is,
a lot of like the old drawings, like even cavemen basically drew like the Greys on their walls sometimes.
Right, but I mean, here's the thing: what if? And we talked about this. Was it last week? Talking about timelines and stuff.
Is it
like that.
GRA or GREY?
I've seen it both ways.
But the thing is, what if they have figured out the timeline or how to move back and forth in time? They've got it all kind of figured out, and they're trying to figure something out to help us in the future or something. I don't know. I mean,
anytime people talk about they're here to help us out, I don't really see why they come to that conclusion. I don't think they would be. I think they would be here for themselves.
I just feel like it's a situation where the government, is already sticking it to us in the backside, and you get these grades and they come up there and they give you the anal.
Yeah, like our government isn't even the worst thing the government can tell you is I'm here from the government and I'm here to help.
That's what Ronald Reagan said was the 8 worst words.
Yeah. Like no thanks. I got it.
You are right in that 1893.
Oh yeah, the one in Texas.
It doesn't say Texas, but yeah. So
is that the one
definitely didn't have
UFO? Was that the cigar?
That's the first documented account of gray aliens.
Okay.
Other than that, you just have like old and ancient drawings. There's nothing saying that's what they were drawing, but they just
and I've seen a lot of those drawings, and very seldom do they look like a gray alien. You can tell they're an alien, but they don't look like the.
Well, and I tell you something else. If you look at ancient Egypt, it's the Osiris vault or the Abydos maybe, but they have, honest to God, There's four ships, 4 vehicles. There's like a car, there's a helicopter, there's a boat, and a jet. And it's like, why the heck do ancient Egyptians have this
Yeah.
in stone, mind you, and in the pyramid or underneath the pyramid or something like that? You know, why?
Yeah, it's like above a doorway. I've seen it.
Yeah, and it's like, so that tells us someone figured out how to jump timelines. Someone figured out how to get in there.
See?
And
if Greer, so that's where I was kind of going. If Greer says that these are ours, is this already proof that we're doing that?
Right. I mean, there's a picture right there. Maybe they're stuck. They can't get back. It's like Quantum Leap. You know, he's jumping around until he finally comes home, and he's jumping per person. But I mean, they obviously, I think there must be an armada of military. Because I can only think it's the military, just by unless you're like super rich, and I seriously doubt if you're super rich.
Could there be actual gray aliens, and the government has created biological entities? I don't know, what do you call them? Biological whatevers?
That's what they call it. Extraterrestrial biological entity. It's like the official name for them is like EBE.
So could there be real gray aliens, but then our government, to confuse and misinform, has created clone things?
Well, I mean, but then look at how long I guess I don't know how long ago they would have actually got the technology, but you could look at how long ago they told us they had the technology.
I just knew about it since about a year, when Greer started talking about it.
Yeah.
Technology to do that. We know they've been cloning things since the 80s.
Yeah.
We know they can clone.
Yeah.
And if you think that they haven't been doing it, you're very
naive. Well, at least China, because they don't have like the ethics and stuff that you're supposed to have with that sort of thing. They just they made goat boys and
like that has
weird stuff.
Which, here we are circling back, as history often does.
Yeah.
I think Sitchin talks about that's how we get the Minotaur. Yeah. Minotaur. I knew that didn't sound right.
The Minotaurs, the Centaurs, the Saturn.
Exactly. So
those were. He said that those were all experiments that Enki did before they settled on.
Yeah.
What they
taking
where they
Cro-Magnon and giving a boost to Homer.
That's allegedly how we became.
Right.
Funny how that circles back.
Could this be a bootstrap paradox?
I'm telling you, I don't know. Or is it just, is it Bashar? I can't remember. I'm not going to say it was Bashar. I don't know who it was I was listening to. Talked about timelines collapsing into one another.
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela would have something to say about that. Now that he's alive again.
I wonder if he wore Fruit of the Looms.
They should have. Yeah, when he showed back up, they should have checked the tag in his underwear so he had a cornucopia.
Right. I don't know, but this is what gets you stuck in these rabbit holes, is because eventually things start connecting.
Well, and here's another tangent.
Okay.
You've got the Mahdi, and you've got the new Pope.
Yeah, that's some stuff, huh?
Yeah, and so
the Chi-Town Pope.
Yeah, Chicago Pope, the Pope. Hey, I mean, so
that's the guy that got the Pope. Got elected isn't the guy that they were all afraid of getting elected for the prophecy, is it? Yeah.
No, because there's a guy called basically it's Peter, but it's Patrius.
Yeah.
Something, but he's of Rome.
So and did they?
Rome.
Did it even take him 3 days?
What's that?
Did it even take him 3 days?
It didn't take them long to left Rio. And that's kind of, I wonder, is that the Vatican foreseeing problems, knowing about a situation, and stopping it from happening? You know, because this guy, I mean, he's like the Secretary of State of the Vatican City. Okay, Vatican City is, as you know, is a city state. It's not
I do. It's its own country.
You know, so could it be that the people are, you know, in the Vatican, the cardinals and all the people that run the Vatican, do they know this guy, or is it something they're kind of keeping in the back pocket, kind of seeing what this Mahdi is going to do, you know, and then is you know, when it gets bad, or when they decide to let prophecy happen or whatever, you know, Leo steps down, this guy pops up, you know. It's, I don't know, you don't know what's going to happen.
Here's my gut says the Mahdi is going to do some damage, but he's going to go nowhere. I'm just telling you, he's going to go nowhere. He's going to be on the wrong side of things. Mark my word.
He already is. He already is on the wrong side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he already is on the wrong side of things with this guy. And he's from America too. He claims to be Egyptian, but
I got a community guidelines flag on my TikTok account because I called him an asshole.
Oh, Michelle.
And I did not appeal it. I said, yes, I did.
You just said, truth hurts.
Yeah, sorry. Not sorry. Yeah. He is a cult leader.
No, you're going to get flagged.
Oh, now we're not going to be able to post our podcast because
that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
It's, you know, people like that though are scary. They really are.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they can do a lot of damage.
You know, and the thing is, it's like, from what I know, it's, you know, it's keep your eyes on Jerusalem. That's where it's going to happen bad. And if it happens the way they say it's going to happen in the prophecy, it's going to be really bad for the Jews. It really is. It's going to be a very, very bad situation for the Jews. It almost ramps up because of the thing going on in Gaza.
Yeah.
And I hate to have this.
You also have things that are going like for the Jews, like they have the, you know, the prophecy of the Red Bull. It looks like they've got the Red Bull finally.
And then
but then they've got that means that they'll be rebuilding the Temple of Solomon. But I think, isn't that where the rock is?
That's where the dome of the rock.
So they got to get rid of that, which means Islam has to have a huge loss, which I would be surprised if it actually happens because nobody wants to make it mad because then everything goes to hell if you make that. You know, that's like trying to sleep in a fire anthill.
Right.
You know.
I mean, it could be, like I said, this all could be a perfect storm that's going to happen on the earth, man. Because, again, just to recap, magnetic fields weakening because the poles are shifting. Mm-hmm. We're seeing the weird stuff in the sky, just like what Franky posted on his reel. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, the American government started to talk about UFOs, like, yeah, okay, UFOs are real. These things happen. All the other countries are like, yeah, we've seen them too. We've been telling you. Now you're going to believe me because America is going to start saying they believe them.
Right.
You know? And so here we go. And then we got the Pope dies. And with all this happening in the Gaza Strip, and then you got this guy, I am the Mahdi, Abdullah Hamesh. And, you know, and then you look at that prophecy now, it's when people, what I call bandwagon Christians. I mean, these are the people that are like,
I get it. Yeah.
You know, they're just like, oh, and it's just like when you're looking through the internet and they go, you know, Christians don't want to, you know, they fear the, you know, the coming of Christ or this, like they're fearing this day. It's like, no, they're not. This day can't come fast enough for them.
Yeah.
You know, this day can't get here quick enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's like, and with this guy's, I'm the Mahdi, I'm the real Pope, and we got Pope Leo, and it's like,
he says he's the real Pope.
that's what he said that on a TikTok, mind you. One of the things he says, he goes out there, he says that Jesus is a false prophet.
I did hear.
And he also said that he is the legitimate Pope and not who the Vatican is going to elect. So just think about that for a second.
Well, that's like a neon sign. I'm a nut job.
Yeah, he took his crazy
behind me.
I wouldn't call him a nut job. I think he's very cognizant of what he's doing. He's a fanatic. I will call him a fanatic.
I guess Hitler was too.
Yeah.
It all.
Well, the thing about Hitler, and it was that he was interested in those sort of things too, and nobody talks about that. Everybody talks about his fixation on the Jews, but he was into the occult. He was into ancient history.
Big time.
That's why that's what people don't understand. Like, they talk about the Aryans or whatever. That's because he believed that his people migrated to Germany from Atlantis, an area of Atlantis. There's Pisidia, there's Area, and like 2 other regions. And so he believed the Germans were descended from Atlantis, and he was trying to prove it. And that's why they went to the South Pole. That's why they went to all over the place. And they were looking for religious relics and ancient relics and all kinds of things to try and tie all this together. But he screwed around and was like, oh, the Jews. And then everybody's like, no, stop it. And then they blew him up.
Well, and the thing is, and to piggyback on that, JC, there's a guy I've watched on Facebook Reels and TikTok. He's a professor of history, and it's part of his lecture. But he talks about the Germans are actually Iranians, that they traveled and they left that area. If they're Persian,
they're not though. Germans are directly descended from Scandinavia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but the way he was saying it is like the words like Hermann. It's like German. It was like it was from. I can't remember how he explained it. If I can find it, I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Those guys over there, they try to claim everything is them. Everything was them. It's all ours. We did all of it.
Are we talking about America?
I mean, we claim everything that's here, but we don't say like, oh, the Middle East is ours because, it was promised to us by our God. So we're laying claim to it, But those guys over there, they believe everything is theirs because it was promised to them in their religion. So when they go somewhere, they act like it's already theirs and they demand everything. And I don't know. We can go into that some other time or not.
But anyways, that finds interesting. Yeah, that guy says that. But I mean,
it's interesting, but there's no way Germans are Iranians.
I mean, I'm just saying, it feels like there's a perfect storm brewing right now.
It does, because everything connects somehow.
It's like I sit there and I'll watch the TikTok, and I know it's full of rabbit holes. I mean, it's like you step in a rabbit hole.
You got to really have discernment.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, there's a lot of it though. It's like, okay, wait a minute, this person's making sense about this, and I don't know if it's maybe I'm giving up and getting sucked into the rabbit hole or what. But
well,
it's like,
here's what my experience is. If I hear it again elsewhere, I just watch to see how the story unfolds.
Right.
Because, and that's kind of what I've been doing with this guy. I just been kind of like, okay, let's just see what happens here. Because right now, it's a lot.
I haven't seen too much of him lately on TikTok.
Oh, he's on it all the time. He's in my algorithm all the time.
Yeah, he's mine too. But I haven't seen much from him. Last couple times with the TikTok, I used to get a video and it had him on there, and he's talking about how he's going to do all peace and light, enlightenment. It's like whatever. It's Sharia laws which they're trying to impose, and
it's real peaceful and
that's real peaceful.
You can be your wife as long as the stick is no wider than this.
Right.
You can beat her with a stick.
Yeah. And, just to bring us back on topic, again, I'll state when we read about these other cultures and these other aliens, this kind of shit doesn't happen.
Well, India has a pretty long history with UFOs.
Yeah, they do.
They believe in the
No, what I'm saying is other alien cultures, allegedly, because I don't know this for a fact, other than what I've read, this dynamic of spiritual chaos or this religious chaos, the things that happen over and over again don't happen over there in other worlds, other aliens.
Oh,
so maybe they're here to see if we awaken above this, or do we let it destroy?
Well, I think religion was introduced to us. It could have been a human invention just to regain control over each other, but I think it more likely might have been introduced to us as a control mechanism to keep us concerned with each other.
Religion is absolutely a control mechanism.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially when Moses came down with the 10 Commandments. If you look at the commandments, it's like, this is how you should live your life. This is how you should be.
I mean, you have to admit the 10 Commandments are full of good ideas. Like, okay, yeah, you shouldn't kill somebody. Lying is bad.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
It's just a guideline.
Yeah.
It's just a guideline.
You probably shouldn't go after your neighbor's wife.
I don't know.
Just it might save you some problems.
I think my opinion of all of it. Okay, here's my opinion of all of it, and why they're here, why we're seeing more of it, what we're going through as a planet, all of it. We have become so detached spiritually. Not everyone, but more than we can bear.
Well, it's been called stupid, and people have been made fun of and everything for any religious stuff. Like, and I'm not just talking about like official religion, like Christianity or anything, but like the hippie stuff,
I'm talking about being connected to the source.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like people made fun of that too. Like it's all like anything metaphysical is always derided.
And it does nothing but make your life better, make you better. I mean, there's nothing that it does detrimental to your life when you're connected to the earth, the energy. We are part of a planet. And we don't act like it.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, people acknowledge that we live on a planet.
I didn't say we live on a planet. I live in a house. I drive a car. We are part of a planet, like the cats in your house, like the horses out in the pasture, like the bears that roam the mountain, the trees that grow in your yard. We are part of the planet.
Right.
And the problem is, everyone thinks we just live on the planet.
Right.
Yeah, we could act like we're more part of the system.
We are part of the
because we act like an anomaly. We act like we found a place, came in, and did whatever we wanted to it, regardless of the
consequences. We moved into a house and made it our own.
Yeah. Which, I mean, there's some merit to treating it right, because eventually we're going to screw it up so bad it's not going to be good for anybody.
Which could also be why they're stationed outside watching what happens.
It could be a situation because of what happened on Mars, if you read your Sitchin books.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know, but it's a lot to ponder. You could go many directions with it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I think we're at the end of it.
It seems like that went by pretty quick.
It was pretty intense conversation. I think we'll probably have more conversation on it. I don't think this is the end of it.
I mean, even when we're just over each other's house, this sort of stuff comes up a lot.
Well, I mean, like for our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how Tommy and I won't talk to each other for like 2 months and then have a 3-hour conversation on this shit.
Right.
That's just the nature of things. All right,
Yeah.
everybody. Who knows what we'll talk about next week?
Well, hopefully
See ya.
we'll talk about something crazy.
Oh, guarantee it.